This is One-on-One.
When we finished playing Waiting for Godot in the West End, I walked into the wings and cried and said, sobbing, I will never be as happy again.
The good time that Sean, Ian and myself had on Waiting for Godot 4 years ago led us to believe we might want to do it again. We'd always wanted to do it in New York.
The possibility of doing it again was immediately exciting to me. But this time the suggestion was, not mine, that we should do it with Harold Pinter's play No Man's Land.
Doing those plays with Sean Mathias and Ian and Shuler and Patrick is just, I'm in actor heaven right now.
You know, everybody knows these guys, but what's great about it is they're just as thrilled to be back on Broadway as if it was the first show they've done.
We've got the same actors in 4 fantastic parts in each play.
That is good stuff. Great actors, and one of them is right here. Shuler Hensley is part of this Waiting for Godot and No Man's Land extravaganza.
It's an extravaganza.
And by the way, you have said, by the way, those other people with you, I did not recognize
I
them.
have no idea who they are. All I do is go to work and try to pull them along.
Set the context for us, because this is a pretty unconventional situation.
Yeah, it's a throwback, really. It's doing 2 plays in rep, which means, you know, rather than doing the same play 8 shows a week, you split it. So you're doing 4 and 4, and the order changes. And on our 2 show days, we actually do both plays, which is extraordinary. And you know, you hear the theory behind it, but until you do it, you don't know how it's going to work out. But it's just been amazing.
Fascinating stuff. And Shuler and I have known each other for a while because we have this powerful connection to the theater.
That's right.
Our kids are very good friends. They play soccer together.
Yes.
And I've always been fascinated by your career because I'm like, how does this guy do it? How does he go after these roles and you challenged one way? And by the way, tell folks before we keep talking about this, some of the amazing roles you played in the past, because I think I wear makeup for things you've had to.
Yeah,
you know?
I've done the Frankenstein monster in Van Helsing, which was about 6.5 hours of makeup. So
Haven't you been a big character one time?
I've been in everything.
What about
yes.
The Whale?
The Whale,
Come
yes.
on.
The Whale.
I'm setting you
recently.
up here.
I know,
Come on.
right? It's always, they're trying to hide this.
No,
This
they're
is
not.
beautiful.
You don't want to hide that. What was The Whale?
The Whale, I played a 650-pound, morbidly obese, gay online tutor. And as a character actor, you say, I've got to do that role.
You got to do that.
Yeah.
Describe this role.
Well, there's the 2 roles. You know, we do Pinter's No Man's Land and Beckett's Waiting for Godot, as they say in England.
I in the promo that I plugged you for One-on-One, I said Godot. What's up with this?
It's perfect for this play because people say, well, what is it about? And all you have to respond is exactly. That's what it's about. It's about whatever you want it to be about. And it's also about debating and getting the audience actively involved in theater again.
How do we get actively involved?
Well, I think we're used to, in theater and television and film, being led along and being able to say, here's something, this is going to happen, this is going to happen. In these shows, because they're minimal, you have to fill in the gaps. And
Back up. Minimal.
meaning it's a very simply written on the page. If you were to take these plays and read them, you'd be like, what is going on? And what's amazing about it is you really never find out about what is going on as an actor until you get into the rehearsal room and you decide what's going on between the lines. Pinter always would say, you know, it's what's underneath what's spoken. And it's amazing what happens. The pauses, the silences.
You're talking about No Man's Land.
I'm talking about both, because Pinter was heavily influenced by Beckett. And
Really?
Yeah, it's an amazing, you know, it came about, I believe Ian wanted to do...
Ian.
Sir Ian McKellen.
I just want to clarify
Yes,
that.
I know them by their first names. He wanted to do
We got two sirs here.
Sir Ian and Sir Patrick Stewart.
What do you call them?
Pat and E. No. I call them sirs. I say yes.
What do you
sir.
call Billy?
Billy, I call dude. Billy's great.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, but Ian wanted to do Waiting for Godot, and Pat wanted to do No Man's Land. So they put them together, and it was really in putting these plays together that you realize not only was Pinter directly influenced by Beckett, but there's even specific words that are used in both plays. So when you are an audience member, and we highly recommend seeing, if you can, seeing both plays on the same day.
Which is, by the way, that's only happening 2 days
It's
a week.
Wednesdays and Saturdays.
Right.
And what's great is they have these $30 tickets the day of, which is the front row, which if you want to see these plays, that's where you would love to be.
Tell folks, you do know this, you do know the roles you're playing.
Yes.
Could you let folks know that?
I play Briggs in No Man's Land, who's a sort of heavy, a bodyguard, doesn't say a lot, but he's more of a man of action. Pinter's very fluid with the language, and all the characters have their moments to use language, but he's sort of no nonsense. Enough is enough, I'm going to take action here. And then in Waiting for Godot, I play Pazzo,
Pazzo.
Pazzo is a bigger, larger-than-life guy who's scary. He comes in and sort of breaks up the waiting, so to speak. And the two characters, all of us have these characters that are on opposite extremes. As an actor, to be able to do both those in one day, it's extraordinary.
By the way, let folks know where they can see these two extraordinary plays.
It's at the Court Theater, which is on 48th Street, and it's a beautiful space, perfect. It's not too big. It's an intimate feeling. The sets are designed perfectly for this theater.
At the Court Theater.
Yeah.
Intimidated at all? I mean, you've always, every time I've been around you, you always struck me as a very confident, strong person. Or are you acting?
Yes. I am.
Working with the two sirs.
Well, I'll tell you what. Obviously, it's like life. You worry about things that you don't know about. So the first day of rehearsal, I muster up the courage to go over to Ian, because I'd met him socially, but not working with him. And he looked a little nervous, and I said, what's going on? And he said, it's always like the first day of school. No matter how long you've done it, you're nervous, and you're starting on a new journey. And to hear that from Ian and Patrick as well, and Billy, we've all had these careers, but there's that energy. It's like kids. It's like the first day of school, and that energy. And I see these guys who are, they're in their 70s, they're great shape, but before they go on, Patrick's behind the door getting ready, and there's that enthusiasm that they literally have not lost in the 50-plus years they've been doing this.
Pretty good role models.
Incredible role model, and they're incredible friends, and it's a close group. They're my friends. We've been together now 5 months, and we'll be, pushing 10 or so when we come to a completion with this. So.
Last question before I let you out of here. How much you love what you do?
It's this. For years and years, people said, I'm an actor. And they said, oh, that's great. So what do you really do? And I thought about that. And you hear years and years, you hear people say, if you can do anything else, do it. I was born and raised as a ballet dancer on the stage. 6 years old was my first role on stage, Fritz in the Nutcracker. So from that moment on, that's all I've known is theater, acting, and this is what I do. So this is me.
When I asked my son Chris, hey, what does Grayson's dad do? He says he's an actor.
That's
See?
it. Yes.
See? Now I get to find out almost the full story.
Yeah.
And more importantly, our audience here in public television does. I want to thank you.
It's a pleasure.
Let me plug one more time.
Sure.
Shuler Hensley is a part of the Waiting for Godot and No Man's Land extraordinary two-play. I'm just using the word extravaganza. I like to use that. Tell folks again, the Court Theater?
The Court Theater on 48th Street. Yes, be there. Come if you can. It's worth it.
Thanks. Great stuff.
Sure.
We'll be back right after this from the Tisch WNET studios right here in the heart of Lincoln Center. Be right back.
One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation, celebrating 25 years of broadcast excellence in partnership with St. Joseph's Healthcare System. Funding has been provided by Hackensack University Health Network, NJ Best, New Jersey's 529 College Savings Plan, TD Bank, Horizon Blue Cross Blue Shield of New Jersey, New Jersey Manufacturers Insurance Group, Cone Resnick, and by PSE&G. Transportation provided by Airbrook Limousine, serving the metropolitan New York, New Jersey area. One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been made possible in part by Celgene.